So now we'd like to start. The young engineers in their 20s working on Verda talks about what they think is interesting working as infrastructure development engineers. So now we would like to start this casual session. Nice meeting y'all. So in this session, we'd like to talk about Verda. This is a line, private cloud, Verda, and we will have a young engineer talk about Verda platform. So the agenda is as follows. So first of all, we would like to start off with self-introduction, and next we talk about what is Verda, what is infrastructure software engineer, and after that, these topics, discussions, joining line, before and after, our strengths, etc. So those are the things that we would like to talk about in this session. So this line live Q&A, you can ask questions. The audience can ask questions. The questions I should pick up if it's good to pick up. I would like to pick up some of the questions from the audience as well during this session. So if you could ask questions casually, that will be good. So first of all, we'd like to start with self-introduction. Maybe 1-2 minutes per person, maybe starting off with self-introduction. Maybe Utsumi-san from far left. Yes, I'm Utsumi from the platform team. I joined Line 6 months ago. And originally, when I was a student, I was doing various research and operation, the related topics research in university. And I joined Line as a new graduate, back-end, mobile end, and Hadoop information. That was what I was writing. And about a year and a half ago, the new priority, code development and operation is what I wanted to do. So I joined Line, and now I am currently looking at OpenStack development. So now I would like to ask Hayakawa-san, who's in the middle. This is Yutaro Hayakawa speaking, and I joined Line last year as a new graduate, and in the network development team is where I belong. Network software development team is where I belong, and I look at the load balancer development, operation, and also user support. And when I was a student, I touched a bit of a front-end part-time job and also some sort of a research related to network. And the rest of my time, I was doing various researching, and I went on an intern for a research job, etc. So the R&D research that I have been doing as a student and what I am doing right now is very similar. So therefore, I've selected this job. Okay, thank you. So me, I'm also an MC as well for this session. My name is Hiroki Shirokura. I belong to the Hayakawa, same as Hayakawa-san's team. I'm in the software team. He talks about load balancer, but I don't look at load balancer, but I look at NAT or the BPC sort of functionality I create on the cloud. So new functionality development is what I'm focusing on. I'm the software engineer. And the service reliability engineering, and also various broad range of area that I'm interested in and what I'm working on. Why I joined Line in my previous job, it was a large-scale network provider I used to belong to, and I was doing a various R&D type of job, and was able to have discussion with various researchers, this and that. But right now, it's close to the production service, network service, software development is what I'm doing right now. So I guess that will be it for the self-introduction. So the three of us would like to talk the next 25 minutes remaining of this time of the session. So in terms of the actual topic, prior to talking about going deep dive into the topic, I'd like to talk about the organization, the Line's organization. We belong to the Verda room. I belong to the Verda team. So this is the private cloud provided by Line. Development and operation of the Verda is what we are doing in this team. Line infrastructure is not just that, but there are various other network that the infrastructure, infrastructure is connected to, and also the physical servers are managed by different teams. So, and servers other than Verda is also being managed. So the server management and the system team is also looking after that. And also the network configuration and also external network peering and design is done by the network team. And we, based on in these kind of low layer things, we attach so that we can provide the private cloud. That's what we do in this private cloud. And other than that, there's an IT service center. And that's how we manage this organization in line. So I'd like to, first of all, today focus on Verda organization. But as I said earlier, we are the team providing the private cloud, Verda. And in the Verda, there are VM and also network service and also various infrastructure services. Platform I, and I stands for infrastructure. Platform K stands for Kubernetes. That's what we're managing and developing. And also network, that's where myself and also Hayakawa-san belongs to, looks at the load balancer and the network function services and development. And other than that, because we have these members, we've highlighted the areas that we have the members, but in terms of reliability engineering, there's a team which will be responsible for the reliability engineering, and also there's also going to be a team looking at the private cloud UI and various infrastructure, quality assurance management, and various checking organization teams also exist under this Verda organization. So just a bit. I'd like to talk a little bit more in detail about Verda. So Verda has been in service since 2006. This is an OpenStack private cloud. If I remember correctly, Verda is, I forgot what language was Verda, but it means green. So it's an Esperanto language. Our management level member was talking about this is an Esperanto. It means green. And as you can see, we provide various infrastructure like this. And it's, of course, it's OpenStack, so VM or the network, the basic areas and DNS, and also the VM image management, Nova or Neutron or Grants. Those are what we are providing, the OpenStack basic components. In addition to that, we also provide the load balancer or bare metal instance services that we have developed in-house, and also NAT-related services as well. So those OpenStack infrastructure, based on that, we also provide various services. For example, Kubernetes as a service, we also develop that in-house, ESQL or Elasticsearch or Kafka or those additional managed services also what we are also providing in the Verda. So if there's any questions on this slide, please ask. In the question, the scale is not small. In fact, the numbers are quite big. As you can see here, the Verda, the VM in total, 55,000 virtual machines we're providing, and also physical machine. What we mean by this is bare metal machine. We all provide over 20,000 units. Hypervisor over 2,000 units. So it's quite a big scale. So on top of this, there are various OpenStack cluster, and on top of that, there will be, it's not creating VMs on top of it, but by a region, the small numbers of OpenStack cluster will be created, and on top of that, these will be categorized and separated and to run. So I guess for the unit category, it's quite large scale. So for the VM, in the 6 month, how we are growing in this basis. I think this number is going to increase furthermore. So we have received various questions. So the mobile, it seems very heavy. Well, the questions sound a bit tricky, so I would like to talk about those questions perhaps later on. So from here, I would like to pick up on those topics that was picked on the agenda and would like to discuss further. And if there's anything that attracts your attention, please let us know. And another important point here.
Because of the restraint of the time and topic, maybe we cannot answer all the questions, but if you have additional questions, please ask your questions through social media like Twitters. Now, next topic is joining line. And recently, he's less than 1 year experience. Hayakawa-san, a little bit over 1 year, and my experience is about 1 year. So, what are the changes before and after joining line? That we would like to discuss that. Verda cloud opening. Is there any possibility of opening it? At this moment, no. But service development, not line employees, but not just not line employees, but also the non-line employees are using Verda, so the not purely private cloud. So the public cloud service. As a service, we don't have any plan to sell Verda. However, we would like to improve the quality of the Verda that is good enough for commercialization. And now we would like to talk about joining line before and after. And before joining in line, how were you working? And now, how you are working after joining line? Utsumi-san first. Before joining line, front-end development, back-end development, mobile application development, these are what I have done. So actually, I have done differently before and after joining line. So what we are providing or developing as a service, if that is infrastructure platform, the before joining line, I use the infrastructure platform, and after joining line, I'm developing the infrastructure platform. That's my major change before and after. So about Utsumi-san, so the current work is quite different from your previous work, and so you have a lot of changes before and after. Yes. So compared with him, Hayakawa-san and myself, actually Hayakawa-san, what was your changes before and after? I was a student before joining line, so on the user side, I had a part-time of web development, and I touched on AWS just briefly. So as a user, maybe I haven't used so much. And as an operator, production-grade infrastructure operation is not what I have experienced. So event network development and the research lab network development are what I have done so far as an experience. So concerning Hayakawa-san, Infra network service is not part of his experience, but network-related development is what you have done, right? And on my research, OS network functionalities is one of my strengths. I know much about that, but not for work. So I haven't had so much experience in technological stack that is used for work. My experience is similar. In my previous work, R&D software development is what I did. But software development or for our private cloud network is not what I'm doing. Linux and production service is created by configuring on Linux. So I think I have come to an application side, and not on POC cases, but line production services is used by users, and my responsibility has become larger because I'm engaged in the back-end side. But the services that are important in Japan and Asia are what we are supporting. So that's why I can enjoy this work, although it is difficult work. And after joining Line, what do we do? Actually, I don't know so much about what Utsumi-san is doing. Could you please explain that for me to understand? Basically, OpenStack development and operation is what I'm doing. And when large projects are ongoing, then I have tasks that are related to those projects, and also the customization and the improvement and bug fixing. These are what I am doing. And the project, large project that I was engaged in, that OpenStack reliability troubleshooting, for these purposes, NIBE metrics was obtained, and that project I was engaged. Open Infra Summit, I made a presentation at that summit. So if you would like to know what was going on in that project, please refer to that presentation. And honestly, it's been just a half a year since I joined Line, so that's all for what I have done. But you have done very large things immediately after joining Line. Metrics is tech share. You immediately address them, and reliability engineering and the core part research is what you have done. But maybe you are okay with metrics, although you changed your experience a lot before and after. You were able to catch up with the technology very immediately. And I have done those works because I'm assigned for those works. But these are the very large works. So my field are different before and after. However, when projects goes on, actually what I'm doing is not so much different from my previous work. That it's a deep team development and writing codes, and if we need some help from other teams, then I ask help from other teams. So these are not so much different before and after Line. That's great. It's great that you are doing that in a normal way. Here are questions. Do you need English? So how many non-Japanese in your team, and what language are you using? Actually, that varies depending on teams. Platform I and AK, 100% English is used. Is it right, Utsumi-san? Yes, basically we use English. Half of the members in the team are non-Japanese, so we use English mostly. The documentation is English, of course, and on the video meeting, basically English is used. And for network team, everyone is Japanese as of today, but depending on the project, English is used, and there are some non-Japanese members, so English is used. And so, right, Mr. Hayakawa? Yes, load balancer team is collaborating with Fukuoka team, and that team has non-Japanese members, so we communicate in English for everything. And in my case, unfortunately, I haven't done my work in English. I actually I'm not good at English, but I personally, in my work for team communication, basically I use Japanese. But in Utsumi-san's team, I have some opportunities for discussion with Utsumi-san's team and OpenStack network and additional network to OpenStack. Once that topic comes up, then I need to speak in English, and I struggle to speak in English for about an hour. So I think it's good not to speak, not to have so allergic resistance to English. And we have a very good translator team, interpreter team. I think that this discussion is also translated into English, and we have an interpreters team. So we book a time slot of interpreters, and we invite interpreters to the meeting. So that works well. English, the Japanese and Korean are used, and in Slack, we communicate in Slack, and there is a translation bot in the Slack, so that the translation is provided as well in Slack.
Okay, so now I think we've been talking quite a bit on this topic, so we're not left with the time, but we receive a lot of questions, so we're running out of time now. So is there any open internship? Yes, we do for university students. It's open internationally. I think once a year or 2 times a year, there's several months of interns. We have the several months of intern. So now we'd like to move ahead and also trying to answer some of the questions from the audience. So all those technical advantage and also the issues. If you could introduce your technical advantage and also the issues, maybe Hayakawa-san? When you talk about advantage, what do you mean? Well, for example, I could say, I'm very good at system software debugging. And as a result of that, or you could say that, I'm tall, or my strength, in other words. Yeah, in fact, our line infrastructure development strength as well. So I know that the question sounds a bit vague, but if you could introduce about your strength. Yes. As an engineer, I did not have my first-hand experience in the engineering work. However, I have been able to smoothly transition into this work is because I was very good at a very niche area, especially in terms of system software, as you rightly mentioned, the system software debugging and also the internal structure. I think I'm a bit of an expert in this area. So the line's load balancers are made in-house, and to what extent it's developed in-house is that it can process the user traffic, the data traffic, data plane. In the data plane layer, it's a very niche area. So it requires kernel knowledge and packets knowledge as well. And system program type of knowledge will be required. So I have a strength in those areas. So perhaps for that reason, I was able to join this organization. So there's not so many job roles that will allow you to actually have a first-hand approach to those areas, because most of the users in Japan are users of those services. But especially in a network development team, we can be involved in the development of those very niche areas. So I guess that's really the big advantage of being in this role. Exactly. Even in the infrastructure team, it's quite unique. Yes, there's an infrastructure team, and there's a workload, and then there's added on features. And that's important. And as Utsumi-san mentioned, autonometrics, our OpenStack scalability is pretty large. But because we have that scalability, we have to really look into it carefully on the autonometrics, and we're now in the phase to carefully look into those areas. And for that reason, we have that work to do and be able to unleash our capabilities in this area. So I guess those are our advantages. Maybe amongst you, is there this is the challenge, or the team's challenge, or the Verda's challenge? Do you guys have any ideas of the issues? I feel that we are managing quite a big software and also developing a large software. And at the same time, the development management cost is sort of increasing in amount. I'm not doing any LB, but LB also for quite some time been in development, and it has a long time of operational experience already. However, those engineering may be replacing the people so that it could rotate and run smoothly. And I think that's also engineering. So I guess that's also an improvement area. Yes, exactly as you say. And also, what do you think is difficult in communication? Well, I would say that it's English, because I'm not so good at English, so there's a bit of a challenge. However, people are quite relaxed and open-minded in listening to even my broken language. But what do you think? You two are good at English, so I guess you two are very good at English. So what do you think about communication? Utsumi-san, how do you feel? Yes. Well, in my previous job, I was doing my job in English in my previous work. So, but then again, I'm better in Japanese, so it's more easier for me to do work in Japanese. So I try to be mindful and careful about confirming, making sure that I confirm on what that other person has said, and I don't want to do the wrong thing. So I always try to confirm with the rest of the members, is this the case, and making sure I rephrase and confirm on what was mentioned. I don't know, maybe this is a issue specific to infrastructure, either it be English or Japanese. The operational issues or the context, because of that, maybe this is unique to infrastructure. The conversation becomes very deep. So we have to be very careful about the sort of communication that we have, or else it will be very hard for the newcomers. I think we don't have so much time left, but I'd like to pick up on some of the questions from the audience. There's any additional questions, please write your questions, so because we will be able to answer later on. When selecting technology, what are you mindful about? That's a very good question. Is there anything? Well, we try to make this an open discussion. We say, oh, let's go with this way, pros and cons, or, oh, this is better, or this is good. That kind of pros and cons proposal we write on the wiki, and everyone views that. That's what we do in selecting technology. And operation-wise, we have to be careful about selecting, because thinking about this is going to be in operation for a long time, we have to be mindful how we select the technology. Yes, exactly. So those are the consideration points for sure. By the way, what Utsumi-san said, osnometric, was there any different way of different technology to be able to select? Well, when I joined the organization, osnometric was the way forward. However, looking at the conversation, what happened before, it seems that it was there were various discussions taking place. So open discussion and making sure that we are mindful that this is going to be in operation for a long time, and also LB is also something to consider as well. So I think we're losing time. I guess we will need to close the session soon, but if there's anything that you would like to ask, I think we will be able to set up a casual interview, etc. So now we would like to end today's casual session. It was a short time, but thank you for joining. Goodbye. Thank you.